Sunscreens, such a huge topic. So much has been talked about. My takeaway from these things are, I think the 5 most important things to look for in a sunscreen are SPF, P rating, mineral versus chemical, the feeling of the sunscreen, the smell, and the look. Right, so those are the key factors in terms of judging sunscreens. Let's start with SPF. SPF is kind of something that we know about in the United States. We definitely see that plastered over all the ads and all of the sunscreens you see. So SPF is UVB protection. This prevents that sunburn, and it's certainly very important. And I think the controversy is, how much SPF do I need? And this is a very complicated question because SPF itself is based off of a series of tests, how much it actually blocks UVB in terms of percentages. But based on where you live, it can also, that percentage can matter a lot. 1% in a place like where we are in Southern California is very different from sun exposure in kind of the northern latitudes. And so SPF is very important. I would say if you're an indoors office type daily sunscreen of SPF 30 is required, even if you're indoors, because things can be absorbed through windows. I would say build into your routine like a normal moisturizer. Otherwise, you just don't know whether you're going to be going out for lunch. It's hard to predict. So SPF 30 is the minimum if you're indoors. If you tend to be outdoors, I would recommend at least 45 to 55. And if you sweat a lot at your job, or you're going outside or on a weekend, I recommend 65, and it should be water resistant as much as possible, even if you're not going to the pool. Those things will tend to last the longest. Second thing, the P rating. What is that? P rating is something that is really popular now, and it was really popularized in Australia where they're really sensitive to UVB and UVA protection. So the P rating is based on UVA. The rating is based in plus signs, and so you want to go from 1 to 4. The higher the number of plus signs, the more effective it is at blocking UVA. So sunscreens really should have SPF for UVB protection as well as UVA. So if your sunscreen has that protection, you'll know that it also protects against UVA sunscreen. Third, mineral versus chemical. Also very controversial. I think people have gravitated towards mineral-based sunscreens because they're sun blocks. You put them on the skin, they sit on top, they reflect the sunlight, and so it doesn't make it into your skin and damage the DNA in your cells and cause skin cancers later on or sun damage. I love mineral sunscreens. I personally wear mineral sunscreen. The main issue that people have with mineral sunscreens is that, it's chalky or causes some other issue or smells weird. This is just a matter of formulation, right? Now, why do I prefer mineral over chemical? Chemical sunscreens are also very effective. They tend to feel better, at least the old ones did, because they go into the skin, they sit in there, and they actually have to have a chemical reaction before they start to work, which is why if you read the bottles on sunscreens that are chemical sunscreens, they will say wait 30 minutes after you apply for you to go into the sun. It's because it takes time for them to be processed appropriately, and so it absorbs the UV radiation and it still protects you, but instead of reflecting it, it absorbs it and it changes molecular structure in the meantime. The issue with chemical sunscreens is that in the skin, the chemical sunscreens can react with your skin to change the pathways that are regulating your skin, like they're called cytokines, and those can change in the skin as the sunscreens are sitting in there, especially if you're using sunscreen on a regular basis. So even though they are likely to be safe, it's one of those things where theoretically the mineral sunscreen should do a better job. They should work immediately, and they should be a little bit safer because it's sitting on the surface. Next one is feel. The feel of sunscreen is very important because it dictates how you wear it and when you wear it. And you ideally want to wear it without feeling gross, right? I think oily sunscreens or heavy sunscreens tend to be problematic because even though you can wear it once or twice, or only when you go to the beach, it's hard for you to wear that every day and go to work feeling like your skin isn't greasy. Last one, the smell and the look, and I lump them together. So the smell of some sunscreens makes you feel like you're going to the beach, and sometimes that's intentional. There's like an association with the emotion. The issue with kind of fragranced sunscreens, number one, fragrance is a potential allergen, so I don't love that. Number two, do you really want to be smelling that every single day as you're wearing it? And I think that's actually a deterrent over the long run for you to wear sunscreens on a regular basis. The look of a sunscreen as well is one of the biggest reasons people don't want to wear sunscreen. They're convinced that if you wear chemical sunscreen or mineral sunscreen, that somehow the skin is going to look a shade whiter. It doesn't go well with makeup. There are a lot of truth to these beliefs because a lot of sunscreens do have poor quality ingredients that make it obvious that someone's wearing sunscreen. But now there are actually a lot of really nice sheer mineral sunscreens where you cannot tell that you're wearing sunscreen. And you cannot feel it or smell it either. And that's actually the best format. So you're treating your sunscreen like you would do a daily moisturizer. And that's the only way you're gonna be wearing sunscreen on a regular basis, right? So the SPF, the P rating, mineral versus chemical, these are kind of personal preferences. The feeling, the smell, and the look are all super important to how it is. This is the way I evaluate sunscreens. In the end, whether it's chemical or mineral, what the SPF is, the important thing is that you do wear them on a regular basis. And certainly, sure, if you go to the pool or the beach or you're traveling, you can wear higher SPF, or you can wear a different subtype of sunscreen, but it's most important to protect your skin day in and day out. That's gonna give you your longest effect, and also it will prevent the skin aging process the most. Hope this was very helpful. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to hear more information like this, please subscribe, and you can do that here.